on behalf of all of us, and all Tobago and Trinidad for that matter, recognize and appreciate the depth of research, the depth of academia that would have gone into the paper delivered by Dr. Terence Farrell. Let me boast that I believe that his association with Tobagonians, even where he sits, would have stimulated somehow at some time the brilliance that we have experienced this afternoon. So I want to congratulate you, but I want to make a request. As you know, I try to take the high points and summarize and so on, and I look at that as a very meaningful task.
Ixanos was started in 1999, spinning out of the University of the West Indies. It's the only private company that came out of any of the campuses across UE. We develop technology-based solutions. I know a lot of us will know us from a software perspective, but it's intelligent software, technology, and engineering-based solutions. We have worked with TNTech, TSTT, Petrotrin, BGTT on various projects, some of them confidential. If you turn this over, I think most tables should have one. We are actually the best kept secret in Trinidad and Tobago. For TNTech, I can say we started in 2006. We've got a remote monitoring system which manages all of the generation plants in Trinidad and Tobago, especially the older plant in Scarborough, which was diesel. It's now been converted over to Cove. I think Scarborough may be on standby, but it's not really being used. So it gave Mount Hope visibility of all generation within Trinidad and Tobago, which helped them stabilize the grid. Less blackouts. What we also built on that is a generator economic load dispatch system, which hasn't been implemented yet. It was, in fact, partly subsidized by Export TT, which was a grant-funded project. And a lot of what we have done with TNTech really is a classic example of what private sector companies can do. With TSTT, thanks to the likes of Cedric Cole and Mr. Mitchell, way back in 2004, we championed the implementation of a traffic data management system for all of landline switches, exchanges, PBXs across Trinidad and Tobago. Again, so it allowed them to look and monitor in real time what was happening with the telecommunications network. That's evolved to the stage where it's been upgraded at least twice now. We've also implemented a mobile monitoring system, which was moved from the old Nortel system into the new Huawei system, which will soon be upgraded to a full LTE 4G system. So these are real-time monitoring systems which we've developed. Again, this is a mixed development team whereby we've got business project managers, we've got engineers, and we've got software developers. So it aligns quite easily with the models that you've just heard from Dr. Farrell and the other speakers. So as we sit here today, we need to recognize that, yes, there are many issues and problems, but I think as a flagship company, you can look at Ixanos as having succeeded over the last 16 years. And that is in the face of quite a lot of challenges. One, the method of our model is to collaborate with different domain engineers, subject matter experts. So in that instance, we tended to develop a design, a prototype almost, and it would go out to tender in a global market. So that was a major problem and still is. I think from a strategy, Tobago needs to look at it like Trinidad probably is, looking at it from the perspective, not just of venture capital, but how you set up an innovative system, how you set up a system which allows private sector companies like ourselves to get involved with different public offices of technology to apply to tourism, for example. We as a company have gone out to talk to the likes of the Tourist Development Company, the same way we went out to talk to TN Tech with respect to different challenges they may be having, and develop potential solutions. The issues that they bring to us, or we capture from them, really puts us into their domain, and it allows us to capture both their challenges and the knowledge base. Now, that knowledge base is super important. The change that I saw, for example, going to Cuba, was that we ended up recognizing that Cuba, even through an embargo, became a very high-tech country. They built their infrastructure on open solutions. So they weren't relying on the proprietary systems, which are very expensive. Let's not mention Oracle, IBM, and Microsoft. Now, those are the traditional platforms that people build on. A good example is if we built on a Microsoft platform, it's an operating system and an SQL database, we start off at $100,000. So with open source solutions, we start off with owing people zero. So it's our creativity and our imagination that goes into the software, and it is that which we are paid for. So I think the 5-minute pen is coming up. So as we stand, thank you, Dr. McKenzie, for being so accurate. You're welcome.
Discipline.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. King.